Hi everybody. So the problem that won today was number 10 on the homework, and I've written it here. Sine of x times root 2 cosine of x plus 1 times 2 sine of x minus 3 equals 0, and I'm going from negative 2 pi to 2 pi. Now when I look at this problem, the first thing that comes to mind is this is factor times factor times factor equals 0, which means it triggers in my head I should do each factor individually, right? And set each piece equal to 0. So I'm going to start with this piece and work my way right. Remember, the interval is negative 2 pi to 2 pi. Just keep that in the back of your mind. So I'm starting right here. Sine of x equals 0, so x must be 0, pi, and 2 pi. That's straight off the unit circle. Now, those are the values from 0 to 2 pi, but I need the values now from negative 2 pi to 0. How do I get that? Subtract the period. Since this is just a regular old sine function, the period of this is going to be 2 pi. So I do 0 minus 2 pi, which gives me negative 2 pi. I do pi minus 2 pi, which gives me negative pi. And I do 2 pi minus 2 pi, which gives me 0. So my answers for this piece are x equals 0, x equals pi, x equals 2 pi, x equals negative pi, and x equals negative 2 pi. I can now go on to the next piece. Square root of 2 times cosine of x plus 1. First step, of course, is minus 1 on both sides. So I've got square root of 2 cosine of x equals negative 1. Divide both sides by root 2. So I've got cosine of x equals negative 1 divided by root 2. Now, I don't want the root 2 in the denominator, so I'm going to multiply by fancy 1. Root 2 over root 2, which leaves me with, on the top, just root 2. On the bottom is 2. And I've got my negative sign still here. So when does cosine equal negative root 2 over 2? Well, of course, that happens at 3 pi over 4 and 5 pi over 4. I now need to subtract out the period to get the solutions from negative 2 pi to 0, just like I did over here before. So 3 pi over 4 minus 2 pi, get a common denominator of 4, gives me negative 5 pi over 4. Do the same thing for the 5 pi over 4 minus 2 pi, common denominator, gives me negative 3 pi over 4. By the way, you didn't have to do this if you realize that cosine is an even function, so cosine of positive theta must equal cosine of negative theta. It's not a coincidence that this worked out. This is true because cosine is an even function. So for this branch, the solutions are x equals 3 pi over 4, 5 pi over 4, negative 3 pi over 4, negative 5 pi over 4. And now we go to the third piece. 2 sine of x minus 3 equals 0. Add 3 to both sides. 2 sine of x equals 3. Divide both sides by 2. Sine of x equals 3 over 2. 3 over 2 is bigger than 1. In fact, it's 1.5. We know the highest value for sine is 1. 1.5 is bigger than 1. Therefore, there's no possible solution to this piece. Sine will never be 1.5. In other words, sine will never be 3 over 2. Therefore, this piece has no solution. This piece, we already got the 4 solutions from here. This piece, we got the 5 solutions. So in total, the solutions are these 5 and these 4. But be sure you write no solution on this part. Let me zoom out so you can see the whole thing. And here's today's problem. I'm signing off. We'll see you guys tomorrow.